Morning, everyone. Welcome to the induction ceremony for our Athletic Hall of Fame. My name's Bill Fody, and together with my friend George Martin. How are you, George? We are very proud and fortunate to serve as the Directors of Athletics here at Colby-Sawyer. Before we begin our ceremony, I'd like to note we began a tradition last year where we announced our winners of the Charger Award for Outstanding Male and Female Athlete of the Year at our Hall of Fame ceremony rather than our senior banquet in the spring. We do that because our senior banquet takes place while our spring teams are still in their respective seasons, so we thought it better to wait until contests were done, give all athletes a fair opportunity to be considered for recognition. So that's why we did the change. Now, these awards are given to the male and female who have extraordinary athletic ability and have contributed the most to their team, college, and the world of sport. The award is a token of hard work, good judgment, understanding, and determination. We announced the winners over the summer, and we're going to recognize them now. First, our Charger Award for Outstanding Female Athlete of the Year, Ashley Woodside. Ashley concluded her tennis career this past spring by being recognized as the NAC Player of the Year for the second year in a row. She was honored as an All-NAC Singles First Team, All-NAC Doubles First Team, and NAC All-Tournament Team. In fact, this season she concluded her fourth straight perfect record in singles play, bringing her career NAC record to an astonishing 20-0. In doubles play, Ashley again went undefeated in the NAC, playing alongside partner Yashu Yang at 5-0 and went 22-5 overall. Non-conference wins for the tandem came against the CCC champion as well as against Division I Holy Cross. By the end of the year, the doubles tandem was ranked 15th in the Northeast region by the ITA. Ashley was at her best in big matches. In NCAA tournament play, she went 3-0 in singles matches, helping the team to advance to the second round for the third year in a row. Her doubles team also advanced in the NCAA tournament, defeating Johnson & Wales. Ashley leads Colby-Sawyer as the all-time leader in singles victories with 58, tied for first in total wins with 128, and second in doubles wins with 70. Congratulations, Ashley. Our Charger Award for Outstanding Male Athlete of the Year is Carl Nyholm. We'll have them seated closer next year. Carl competed in both indoor and outdoor track, earning both regional and national recognition. During the indoor season, Carl had 3 first-place finishes, 2 second-place finishes. He placed 4th in the shot put at the New England Championships to earn all New England honors for the second time in his career. He later was recognized as all-region in the shot and finished the indoor season ranked 31st in the entire country in the NCAA. He's the school record holder in both the indoor shot and weight throw. Carl's success continued during the outdoor season across multiple throwing events. He reset his own school record in the discus and set a school record in the hammer throw. With 8 first-place finishes, Carl qualified for New England's in the shot put, disc, and hammer. He finished 6th in the discus, earning all New England honors. Carl finished the season ranked 42nd in the discus and 51st in the shot put in the final NCAA rankings. Congratulations, Carl. Now, we think all of our student athletes are special here at Colby-Sawyer. They commit countless hours to their craft, hours spent lifting, running, rehabbing, training. If they're a fall athlete, they cut their summer break short to return to school. If they're a winter athlete, they cut their time over the holidays with their family short to attend their winter camp. They do this while truly being student athletes. We ask a lot of them. We ask them to excel in the classroom and in their respective sport, and they do exactly that. Now, our student athletes do these things because they love competition, they love being a part of something bigger than themselves, they love being a part of the team. They take tremendous pride in representing Colby-Sawyer. Now, our alums in the crowd can take great pride in Colby-Sawyer athletics and our most recent success. And here's a chance to brag a bit. Just last year, Colby-Sawyer was recognized with an amazing, truly amazing 20 major North Atlantic Conference award winners. We had 5 Conference Coaches of the Year, 5 Conference Players of the Year, 2 Defensive Players of the Year, 3 Conference Rookies of the Year, 1 NCAA NAC Woman of the Year, 1 NCAA NAC Man of the Year. We played in 10 championship games, winning 4 conference titles, sending 2 teams to the NCAA tournament. In fact, we just concluded our 7-year tenure in the North Atlantic Conference, and we ended up with a staggering 34 conference championships, 23 runner-up finishes. By far the most successful athletic program in the league. Now, many of our athletes are here today. Please join me in giving them a hand. Now, before I go much further, I would like to take some time to thank the people that are responsible for this event. I can't believe it's our 13th year that we've done our Hall of Fame ceremony, and we'd like to thank the Chargers Club for their generous support of this event, our Hall of Fame committee, George Martin, Jen Ellis of the Chargers Club, Ben Steele, our faculty athletic rep, Ryan Emerson, our tireless sports information director, Lindsay Ostler, our senior woman administrator, Beth Camp, our alumni rep, and especially Tracy Austin for making this event and many of the events this weekend so special. Thank you. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Ruth Clark for all of her work behind the scenes. Ruth is truly tireless. Now, homecoming weekend is special. It allows our alums to come back and interact with our current student athletes. And the athletic achievements that I mentioned previously, they're quite noteworthy, but I'm sure our alums would agree. Our athletes learn much, much more. They learn how to cope with failure, learn time management, learn team dynamics, how to fill a role, the value of preparation, hard work, all of those things. Those learned life skills give our student athletes a head start when they begin their postgraduate careers. And it's truly heartwarming as a coach to see the interaction with our current student athletes with our former student athletes, because I think it really drives that point home when they see our alums successful in their personal and professional careers, arriving to campus with their families, and we really do encourage that interaction. Now, our alums will be pleased to know that Colby-Sawyer Athletics has transitioned this fall to the Great Northeast Athletic Conference. This moves us closer to our traditional recruiting and alumni bases around the Boston area and all New England states. We've also expanded our sport offerings to 23 teams with the addition of men's volleyball and women's rugby to varsity status. And we also continue to grow our facilities. If you haven't seen the Morris Trail yet in the Kelsey Athletic Campus, I encourage you to do so. It's a beautiful addition, competitive cross-country course. Additionally, we turned an unused space in Mercer Hall into a state-of-the-art athletics meeting room. And these projects were made possible by generous gifts from our alumni. Now, we have some special guests here today. A special welcome to our inductees, as well as their family, teammates, and friends. Today, we honor you as you take the rightful place amongst the all-time greats at Colby-Sawyer. Before we begin our ceremony, I think it's important that we reflect back a bit on our history of athletics here at Colby-Sawyer. So I'd like to welcome and recognize some current Hall of Fame members who are present today. If you refer to your program, you'll see a list of every individual and team previously inducted into the Hall of Fame. Many are here today. I'd like to ask all Hall of Famers that are present today, would you please stand and be recognized? I would encourage everyone here to visit our brand new Hall of Fame wall in the Hogan Sports Center later today. We've changed our Hall of Fame wall. It's similar to our Legends wall that you may have noticed as you enter this building. We removed the older plaques, and we had a good problem. We didn't have enough room. We had too many Hall of Famers, so we had to change how we were doing things. And our current Hall of Famers here, after the ceremony, if you come to Hogan, you'll be able to take your plaque home with you. So today we come together to celebrate some truly special student athletes. We build on our history as we recognize these individuals for their extraordinary achievements while representing Colby-Sawyer. As our current Hall of Fame members in the audience have done before you, you in turn have set the bar high for our future inductees. Perhaps one of our current student athletes will be inspired by what they hear today. Perhaps someday they'll be on this stage with me. Perhaps they'll have their name on that Hall of Fame wall. For now, let us turn our attention to these special people on stage behind me and begin our induction ceremony. First, Gail Hartung Baldwin to present Patty Canby Calhoun.
Do this as quickly, really, as I can, because many of the characteristics that you had said I had written down for Patty. So let's just get started with this, and it's going to be short. First of all, before I read all of the wonderful athletic legacy of Patty Canby Calhoun, allow me a little bit of time about Patty and me. Patty is a true gift to me. We were roommates at Colby Junior College and have remained very dear friends for 59 years. That's a lot of time. Gosh. In our freshman year, Patty and I were in Abbey, by the way. In our freshman year, Patty tore her meniscus, which of course I didn't even know what that was, but at any rate, it's a serious knee injury. And for it was suggested that Patty, who was on the second floor at the time, be on the first floor, which would be easy for her getting around. I had a single on the first floor. And it's very, very interesting that when they came and asked me, I was, instead of being the shy only child that I was and got wanted a single, I said yes, I'd love to do that. And honest to gosh, I think it's really truly one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. We're very different in many ways, but that Patty really, it never interfered in our caring relationship. She loved her sports. She loved to win. And yet there were characteristics that have already been mentioned that Patty came to my mind when Patty called me and asked me to do this. She's a very kind and caring person. Competitive, yes, but she's very kind and caring. And she's also follows through when you ask her to do something, and she's also anticipatory, which I think is a really nice characteristic. In other words, she sees things ahead and can adjust herself and plan, and you'll see that in her legacy statement. So as you will see, some of these examples written in her athletic legacy have absolutely forwarded characteristics that Patty had for a long time, but were very encouraged when she was here at school. Legacy. Patty Calhoun was the first freshman on the Colby Junior College campus back in September 1958 as her parents were driving back to Philadelphia. Patty started her sports career as a fourth grader at Nizara School in Chestnut Hill, Pennsylvania. She started playing field hockey on a slanted field, which helped her gain a knowledge of anticipation of actions. Maybe that started then. Patty progressed on to Springside School in 7th grade, where she continued field hockey and took up basketball and lacrosse. In basketball, she was a guard, and in lacrosse, she played defense wings. And she has down here, my, how these sports have evolved. We had 3 sports, maybe 4, but while at Colby, Patty played hockey, basketball, and lacrosse. She also loved to ski from our dorm, Abby, down to the slopes, and that's what got her in trouble as she wrecked and tore the meniscus in her knee. That wiped out the rest of the basketball season for her freshman year, but she was able to continue with lacrosse. In the fall of '59, Patty and the other members of the field hockey team traveled to Wellesley College to play in a field day. There she was selected to the All-New England field hockey team as a halfback. The only position that she never played was goalie. Another skiing accident happened while racing Miss Goslin over moguls. There went another basketball season. For lacrosse, she was able to coach as she was on crutches following surgery over spring break. While at Colby, Patty was a key girl, senior counselor, and she was nominated for House President, which she did not receive, but was actually kind of relieved since it's a huge job. After college, Patty played some club hockey until work interfered. After marrying and moved to Iowa, Patty coached 5th and 6th grade girls basketball for the school and the same softball for the YMCA. She returned to Bluebell, Pennsylvania, where she again coached the girls, only now it was 8th grade township teams. Her love of sports continued as she played tennis and was co-captain of the 2 teams in St. Augustine, Florida. She learned to play pickleball in Florida as well and continued to play it in Boothbay Harbor, where she resides now. While in Boothbay Harbor, Patty's been very active in the local YMCA, where she taught water aerobics, water therapy courses, and was a lifeguard. She was the recipient of the Boothbay Region YMCA Volunteer of the Year and the Pine Tree Award for the State of Maine YMCAs. Patty's continued to support Colby Junior and now Colby-Sawyer College by writing her class columns for more years than she wishes to remember. She knew she was nominated for the Hall of Fame, but never thought she would be selected. And I know she is greatly, greatly honored. Who comes next?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Some of my family wanted to attend, but distance and time prevented them from coming, so I'm appreciative of everybody being here. Western Canada, Colorado, and France were a bit too far for a 3-hour day. Needless to say, I was stunned to be accepted into the Hall of Fame, so thank you very much, Beth, for the nomination. Sports has always been a big part of my life. I was a tomboy and not about to let the boys get ahead of me. So I fell through a basement window. I think the athletic programs at Colby Junior were the main reason I came. 2 of us were called into the headmistress's office at school about 45 minutes after we got there, going, what have we done? And it was that we had been accepted into Colby Junior the very first day of our senior year. That made life easy. So we had a great group of girls playing in all 3 sports here. It took all of us to be a team, not just me. So many thanks go out to everybody I played with. I continue to be active and hope to go back to pickleball after a visit to the orthopod on Monday. I love the sport. I'm always doing something. It's fast and one has to react quickly. My knee was replaced 16 years ago after wrecking it here. I still go to field hockey games, girls basketball, and lacrosse because I live right above the school, and wow, have the teams and the games rules changed. Sports teaches you how to lose gracefully, interact with many, not just one, and has given me the confidence to tackle many issues. I was shy, I had been teased, but being on the field, you could do your own thing. So I can stand here now and say thank you very much to Colby Junior College, to Beth, and to Gail.
Now Madison Hawkins to present Taylor DeSanti.
Good morning, and congratulations to all inductees, past and present. Colby-Sawyer is a relatively small institution, but your achievements and your continued success beyond 541 Main Street serve as a testament to the magnitude of impact that alum have, and you all as starters. Congratulations. And now I know Taylor's getting eager for me to talk about her, but just before I get there, we have to acknowledge the reasons why you're here. And of course, those reasons have provided unconditional support and have put thousands of miles on their vehicles. They've given countless comforting hugs. If you haven't had a hug from Lynn DeSanti, you haven't been hugged yet. So of course, these reasons are your parents. So Lynn and Steve, thank you for facilitating Taylor's opportunity to be at Colby-Sawyer and raising our teammate, our roommate, and most importantly, our best friend. All right, now to you. Actually, my first interaction with Taylor was at a preseason fall pickup game, and first impression, she was good, really good, and she knew it, really knew it. But my adversity was fleeting to this new hotshot because when you realize that you're wearing the same name across your jersey as Taylor DeSanti, that's something of which to be proud. So Taylor has a unique and complete knack for the game, every detail, not just the basics. Yes, she has mastered the fundamentals, dribbling, shooting, passing, sometimes. She might be very Duffy at the pass. But she got the flow of the game, and her confidence was contagious, her tenacity was palpable, her competitiveness was and still is inspiring, her leadership was and certainly still is effective. As intense of a demeanor as she carried, she never let it compromise her relationships off the court. She had no problem letting you know her thoughts on the hardwood, but as soon as we stepped off the court, she was an attentive, loyal friend and the life of the party. As her roommate, I also have an ample supply of stories with regard to her role as life of the party, but I'm unsure if Coach has taken his hypertension medication as well. So, now she wasn't the type of leader that would, come up to you and compliment your game and then gently request that you get her the ball. She just told you to give her the ball. Maybe with some more flavorful words and piercing connotation, but the message got across. And truly finding a way to get Tay the ball wasn't a bad idea. It's in your best interest. The girl hit a 1,000-point mark in the middle of her junior season, and finished her career as the program's leading all-time scorer with 1,785 career points. Which is a stunning compliment to the player at the time, Kalen Bullitt, who has the record for most assists in program history, appropriately. As far as other records go, where you can find Tay's named pin, she is a leader in the program for career three-pointers, field goals made, points in a game, points in a season, scoring average in a season, free throw percentage in a season, for which in her junior season, she received national recognition as an NCAA statistical champion by shooting 89.9% from the line. There are shooters and there are scorers, and Tay's a scorer. She found a way to get it done. In her senior year, she dropped 27 in the conference title game. And her career at Colby-Sawyer is glittered with perpetuating honors, and from conference to regional to national recognition. Twice she was named NAC Player of the Year. Twice she was named a D3 Hoops All-Regional Third-Team Selection. Twice she was named NAC First-Team Honoree. Twice she was named New England Women's Basketball Association Third-Team All-Star. She was also named ECAC Second-Team All-Star, a member of the CCC First Team, a New Hampshire Basketball Coaches Association Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year 3 times, First Team Honoree 3 times. Between all these honors, statistics, titles, you'll understand that Tay was a talented, remarkable athlete, but more importantly, in between the black and white of the record books, what you'll see is that Taylor is an exceptional individual. She's a selfless rehousing manager at Father Bill's homeless shelter, a loving daughter, a loyal sister, a devoted aunt, and a once-in-a-lifetime best friend. With that, I'm pleased to introduce Taylor DeSanti.
I didn't realize I came to a roast today. But thank you, Madison. That was a wonderful speech. And thank you all for being here today. It means more to me than you'll ever know. It's so nice to be here. I truly love this place. When I was looking at prospective colleges, I was told I would know which one that I would choose once I walked into a gym, and it just felt right. As soon as I stepped into Hogan, I knew that it was home. I knew that Colby-Sawyer was home. I walked on campus, and everyone was asking me how I was doing, how was my morning, and I walked onto campus today, and the same thing happened. It's just such a friendly, loving atmosphere here. Once I met Coach and the team, I felt an instant connection. I would not be standing here before you today if it weren't for my teammates. Thank you, Mari Reserve, for the nomination and for the committee for choosing me. There's so much more than my teammates. Those are my sisters over there. I'm forever grateful for them. And I honestly owe this award to them. Sorry, I lost my place. So thank you all for your love and support. And to my coach, first, thank you for putting up with us. And for pushing me to be the best player that I could be. I also would not be up here if it wasn't for your confidence in me as a player and a leader on our team. Last but of course, certainly not least, I would like to thank my family for their support throughout my whole basketball career. My family members are definitely my biggest fans, but I think it's safe to say that my dad was Colby-Sawyer women's basketball's biggest fan. As Maddie had said, he would travel everywhere just to be at the game that we were at. So am I right, girls? He was there every single game. And if we didn't see my dad in the stands during the warm-ups, everyone would be like, Taylor, where's your dad? Is everything okay? And then once we saw him, we knew it was game time. So Dad, thank you for your true dedication, and I think he should be inducted into the Hall of Fame for being the #1 fan. Seriously, everyone that I've mentioned deserves a piece of this award. I know I've already said it, and I couldn't say it enough that I couldn't have done it without you all. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I know it's coming. Martin, you're finally starting. Martin Bennett to present Mark Furlow. Never gets old. Well, it actually does. As Maddie said, congratulations to all the nominees. The inductees now. Really some incredible careers. For my part, it's a great pride and pleasure that I have the opportunity to induct Mark Furlow into the Colby-Sawyer College Athletic Hall of Fame. Mark had an incredible career here. Not only did he pour in 1,278 points, collect 577 rebounds on the basketball court, he was named Commonwealth Coast Conference Player of the Year. He was selected to the New Hampshire Division III Coaches Association first team. He was an NEBCA All-Star Game selection, Columbus Multimedia All-Region for 2 seasons, as well as many, many other accolades. Really an impressive career, but what's most impressive is that Mark, first of all, missed a number of games throughout his career for injury. Really up to, I think, almost a quarter of one of the seasons he missed due to injury. But also, one of the things that's really remarkable about Mark's ability to put in so many points and have all these great accomplishments was that he played with arguably some of Coach Fode's best players. I mean, in Mark's 4 years, he played with 5 other Hall of Fame players, 5 other guys that are already in the Hall of Fame. He played with Jim McGilvery for a year, Ethan Casson, Callan Paquette. He played for 3 years with 2,000-point scorer Matt George. And he played all 4 years with Hall of Famer Brian Wilder. And really just, if I just side note, Brian and Mark had this unbelievable connection on and off the court. In fact, I think Brian, or Mark might be the only person that Brian ever kicked the ball out on a double team. Because he'd never passed a Pat or Nate off a double team. So Mark might be the only one you ever passed the ball to, Brian. Yeah, selective. That's pretty cool. So I guess the question is, how was Mark able to do this? How was he able to accomplish all of these things? And I think really there are two factors. The first was Mark's physical ability. He was an absolute freak of an athlete. He was strong, he had size, he had quickness. He could do everything that a good player does. He could shoot well, he passed well, he was very good defensively, rebounded, he could dunk the ball with ease. Actually, and honestly, if it wasn't for his athletic ability, I might not be standing here today, because the other reason why Mark was so successful, in my view, was he was really a team first kind of guy. See, I was the sorry sucker who had to guard him every day in practice. So Mark, I want to thank you for dunking on me, hitting threes in my face every day, really making me look good. Thanks. Not only was his natural ability, like I said, a great asset to him, he demonstrated his team-first attitude a lot. For example, in the weight room, Mark had a strict weight room regimen. See, Mark would sit on the shoulder press machine for hours. But he didn't sit there to increase his physical strength or to, get more jacked or anything. He sat there because the shoulder press machine, and guys, listen, because this is a good tactic, faced the window where Coach would come from. So as soon as Coach came through, and as soon as the teammates, we all saw Mark hitting the shoulder press machine, we all knew to look busy. So Mark, thank you for that too. That was great. And then, and lastly, I want to thank Mark for getting hurt my senior year. You see, if Mark didn't get hurt my senior year, I wouldn't have been inserted into the starting lineup, and if that didn't happen, Fode wouldn't be calling me Martin no longer starting for the last 20 plus years. So, see, Mark got healthy quick, and I was then out of the starting lineup. So. But no, honestly, and seriously, it's my great pleasure, and I take a lot of pride and happiness for Mark. He's truly deserving award, and he was just a terrific teammate, and I'm really happy for him. Congratulations, Mark Furlow.
got us, it's out on us now. But seriously, Martin, thank you very much. Also, thank you for your nomination. Marty nominated me to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Also, Terrell Dozier, who couldn't make it here today. He was here this weekend, but couldn't make the ceremony, but he also nominated me, and I want to say thank you to him. Thanks to the Hall of Fame committee, everyone involved, and everyone's dedication and effort into making this event possible. It's the third year in a row now that we've been up here for this, and it's better and better every time. It's truly an honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame and forever linked to so many great athletes that are also in the Hall of Fame. Especially want to thank Coach Fody, of course. He recruited me to play here, although I think he really recruited my parents, because back when I was being recruited, there was basically one means of communication, and that was the one phone that was mounted on our wall in our kitchen. As a teenager, I wasn't home quite often, naturally, and he would call every day, usually every day, and get my mom on the phone or my dad on the phone. And I would eventually come home in the evening, and my mom would say, Coach Fody called again. I really like that guy. I think that's going to be the place for you. You really need to go to Colby-Sawyer. So she talked me into it. One day I came home, and he hadn't called, and she started to worry. I was concerned for him. But in all seriousness, his dedication, his principles of working hard, I think, really show what he's given to the program. He's devoted much of his life to Colby-Sawyer College, and especially the men's basketball program, and I owe a big thank you. Thanks very much, Coach. Not just Coach Fody, all the coaches that played a role in the program while I was here. Assistants Kyle Battis, Josh Pinkowski, and Tom Brayshaw. Thanks to all of you. It takes a group effort to manage a team to make sure things run smoothly, and they did a great job. As Martin had pointed out, I did face some injuries through school, so I could not do the speech without thanking the athletic training staff while I was here. I spent a lot of time rehabbing and then keeping me into shape, and coming back from some serious injuries, and they played a big role, and couldn't have done this without them. My teammates, all of you guys, what can I say? The best teammates I could ask for. This achievement obviously is not possible without them, and when I say great teammates, I mean on and off the court. I feel incredibly fortunate to have such good people in my life, many of whom we're still in touch with regularly, and just want to go through a quick list of some people that had an impact throughout my career. Some upperclassmen that really made us feel comfortable, coming in as freshmen. A few guys that took us under their wing. Not here today, but Dave Martinelli, Ethan Casson, Jeremy Casson, and Jim McGilvery. They were seniors while I was a freshman and played an important role in my career. Some role players that really stick out: Ethan Holmes, Eric Pazinski, Mike Spinney, Billy Gallagher, Jonathan Edwards, Jerry Cerruti, and Brian Joyce, all important people in my life. Some freshmen that we took under our wing when they came in: Jay Como, Mike Mooney, Elijah Soule, Callan Paquette, and Grant Kelly. And my core group of teammates that I spent most of my time here with: Josh Bailey, Sean Batchelder, Jimmy Statiris, Terrell Dozier, Martin Burnett, Pat Quinn, Matt George, Nate Camp, Brian Wilder, and Alexi Babolia. And a special shout out to our good friend Matt Fallis. Just as much a teammate as all these guys. Alexi in particular, we've been in business together now 15 years, business partners, and we have a new venture getting started fairly soon here in Massachusetts. If any of you ever are to Hudson, Massachusetts, you'll have to visit Ground Effect Brewing Company. I had to throw it out there. Get some press. Well, teammates, I truly appreciate all your efforts. We went to battle together every day. We gave 110% all the time, and we made each other better. Thank you so much, guys, for making my experience at Colby-Sawyer a memorable one. Probably one of the best chapters of my life. A couple other special people here today I have to recognize. Two friends of mine from childhood, 30 known them both, John Thompson and Jamie Smith. You guys, we met in elementary school in the playground, and we also had a lot of battles together. We never looked back. I really appreciate you making the trip today. Jamie, as I don't know if all of you may know, went to Keene State and played basketball there as well. I think this is the second trip to Colby-Sawyer College. The first one, our only time we met playing basketball during our career, we played against each other for the ECAC championship in 1998. Jamie, thanks for the good memories, and also our championship ring for the ECAC championship. My family's here today. Just want to say, thank you for them to come. My grandmother, my 88-year-old grandmother today here, Nana. Thanks so much. You taught me a lot of life lessons, of course, throughout the years, and it's just so special to have you here today. So thank you so much. My oldest sibling, Jen. I think it's because of Jen that I got my competitive nature from. Her being 2 years older than me, and the new baby in the house. Obviously, from day one, I had to fight for the attention from our parents. She made it interesting. But thank you, Jen. Yeah, I did step on your turf, yeah, and quite well, actually. It was easier being younger. But thanks for being a fun, energetic, and loving big sister. You also brought your son, my only nephew, Alex, into the world. And Alex, thank you for being here today. We love you, buddy. A couple other people, my brother, Matt, my biggest fan. First things first, Matt, happy birthday. Matt is 35 today, so happy birthday, Matt. We're 7 years apart, so a bit of an age gap growing up. But needless to say, he was a ferocious rebounder for us in the driveway basketball, and he definitely helped my game. Kicked out a lot of passes to me and really worked on my jump shot. So Matt, thanks for all your help and being a supportive brother. My parents, Mom and Dad, first things first again, happy anniversary. So yes, October 14th has some significance in our family. My brother's birthday, my parents' anniversary. They have been married 46 years today. Congratulations. They got me to all my practices as a child, all my games. They encouraged my support, or my interest in sports, and supported that. Just want to say a big thanks to them. They're the best parents anyone could ask for, and they led by example. They worked hard to make ends meet, and they instilled some great values in all of us kids. And you were and still are superb role models. So thanks, Mom and Dad. And again, happy anniversary. Quickly, my children, Brooke, Taylor, Carmen, and Caleb, my stepdaughter, Alicia, who couldn't be here today. Certainly give our lives meaning and purpose. You keep us very busy. It's great to be able to now play the role of a parent, get you to your games, your practices, which is not an easy task. We're always in 2 or 3 places at once with the 4 of them. But you're growing up fast, and I'm very blessed to see that before my eyes. My wife, Stacy, you're my rock, and the rock of our family. Without everything you do, we would be lost. She keeps it all together. We got a very busy family and a very busy life, and she is the glue that holds us together. So I love you and thank you. To everyone again, thanks for being here today. Thanks for being at such an amazing event. Colby-Sawyer was a very special place for me, and was an incredible part of my life's journey. It's an honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is my second best achievement, athletic achievement here at Colby-Sawyer. The first one was when our team, the 1998 championship team, was inducted 3 years ago. This is special. To be inducted as part of a team and have everybody with me to enjoy that moment, that was phenomenal. It's a close second, but I'm still going with our team from 98. Thanks very much, everyone.
Ryan Smith to present Sean Hurley.
Good morning, everyone. Congratulations again to all the inductees. Special congratulations to Mark. I was here when Mark was king of the court, and it's really great to see his teammates here. You guys added a lot to my experience at Colby-Sawyer, especially in the wintertime. There's not much to do, so it was awesome to see you guys play and dominate. Wilder, good to see you in the middle of the dance floor again. There's one many dance-offs there too. So So, yeah, my name is Ryan Smith, class 2000. I was one of Sean's teammates from 1998 to 2000. Sean, thank you for asking me to do this speech. It's a tremendous honor. It's an honor that I stole from Coach Broden, who loves throwing on the necktie and getting up here and speaking. So I asked Coach to provide me with a few words about Sean. Coach had this to say: Sean was an all-around terrific baseball player, possessing 4 of the 5 tools that Major League Baseball scouts look for. He used his speed to steal bases and track down fly balls, where he was an outstanding defender in the outfield. More importantly, above all, his ability on the baseball field, he was a great teammate, hard worker, on and off the field, and just a great kid. That was, Coach's thing. He wanted guys, blue-collar workers, good kids, worked hard, and Sean, exemplifies all those characteristics. Sean was one of the hardest working guys in practice and definitely in the weight room as well. Sean amassed numerous individual and team accolades and awards. While at Colby-Sawyer, he was the leading contributor on 2 Commonwealth Coast Conference Championship teams. He was the team MVP in 2000 and 2001, ECAC New England First Team selection in 2000. Overall, Sean ranks in the top 10 and 11 offensive categories. Thinking back on Sean's career, there are several moments that aren't captured in a record book. Speaking for the pitching staff, we benefited from both his offensive and defensive prowess. Chris Cabe, who's out there, Chris is another Hall of Fame member. Chris Cabe remembers your full-out Superman diving catch against the University of Southern Maine, where he covered probably about 75 feet and played that whole game with complete disregard for his body. I believe in the same game, Tyler Blount, our center fielder, misguided Sean by yelling "plenty of room" as Sean ran through a snow fence. 15, all went 15 feet over his head, so that was just Sean. He was always, saw the ball, ran after it. Rob Fagan, another starting pitcher and classmate of Sean's, has a different recollection of Sean's outfield play. I got to work one roast in here, sorry, Sean. So yeah, if you know what baseball season is like here at Colby-Sawyer, your season's about a month and a half. Your indoor season is about 2.5 to 3 months. So the Hogan Center, beautiful building, not good for simulating fly balls. So the first fly balls that we usually see are down in Florida in our first game, and Rob served up a couple fly balls, and I just happened to be in left field witnessing Sean overrun the ball by about 20 feet 3 times. So Rob wanted me to give you these. They're some special sunglasses if you get in. Personally, I remember a start my senior year. I was extremely excited to pitch because we were down here in New London and there were snow flurries and it was about 35 degrees. I was like, no chance the hitters are going to want to swing. Sean hit 3 home runs in his first 3 at-bats and hit the top of the fence in his 4th at-bat. I still gave up 10 runs and we lost the game. I was like, who knew that that snow flurries were conducive to hitting, but apparently they are. So his dominance on the baseball diamond extends far beyond Colby-Sawyer. It's kind of interesting to hear people's stories about how they're continuing their athletics. Sean has gone on to be very successful, obviously, in his career, and he has a beautiful family. But athletically, this marks the 4th Hall of Fame that he's been inducted into. He was elected to the Yawkey League Hall of Fame, which is intercity league in Boston, so that's where he played all of his time, his baseball during college, and then after. He was inducted into the Central Ohio Men's Adult Baseball League Hall of Fame, and a prior inductee, obviously, in the Colby-Sawyer Hall of Fame as a member of the 1999 team that was inducted a couple years ago. So it is with great pleasure for a second time that I induct Sean Herlihy into the Colby-Sawyer Athletic Hall of Fame.
just want to say thanks a lot to the Colby-Sawyer Athletic Department for putting this on and inducting me. It's great to be here, like Ryan said, with my family. Everyone who's nearest and dearest to me was able to join me today. So that's great. And obviously, I'm glad to be the inductee and not the inductor. So I'll keep this really quick compared to all of these remarks, because I'm surely not going into any public speaking Hall of Fames. But I have many memories, many fond memories from Colby-Sawyer here. Most of them revolve around the baseball field and athletics. The guys, we came from a lot of different places for a lot of different reasons, but we all ended up here. And it was a really good group of guys, and we had an extreme passion for baseball. And I think that made us an extremely cohesive unit. And as Ryan said, that cohesion led to a lot of success on the baseball field. I should have probably looked, or maybe we can confirm this, but I think that period of time was the most successful in program history, and as a team, something I'm very proud of. And so, for me, I also consider those 4 years some of the most memorable of my life. And so, with that, I'll just say thank you, and it's very much appreciated.
Emily and Brenda Thorson to present Brittany Murphy.
I'm honored to be standing today before you to introduce Brittany Murphy. Brittany is, hands down, one of the most talented lacrosse players to wear a Chargers uniform. Brittany's 4 years at Colby-Sawyer rewrote the record books. From her very first collegiate game against Anna Maria in 2009, where she scored a hat trick, to her final game, her senior year in the ECAC tournament, where she scored her 200th goal and set the all-time career goal record, Brittany was making history. Now, I did not have the pleasure of recruiting Brittany to Colby-Sawyer. Her arrival here, though, is something of legend in Colby-Sawyer lacrosse history. As a high school prospect, Brittany had her choice of institutions and lacrosse programs. She was talented, she had great hands, great vision, a nose for the goal. She was no slouch on the lacrosse field. And college programs from her backyard came calling. Colby-Sawyer was not one of those programs. Prior to Brett's senior year in college, she had never even heard of Colby-Sawyer. She didn't know it even existed. That is, until her high school coach left Woburn Memorial to take the head coaching job at Colby-Sawyer. She persuaded Brittany to follow her here. And any time I asked Brittany, why did you come to Colby-Sawyer? Her answer, in her very best Woburn accent, was always the same. Courtney! I came because of Courtney! Well, Courtney was only the helm for 1 year, and she never even coached Brittany. But I can't tell you how many times during my 3 years as Britt's coach that I uttered the words, "Thank you, Courtney." So thank you, Courtney, for encouraging Brittany to take the leap of faith and leave her comfort zone. And more importantly, to thank her for paving the way for me to have the opportunity to coach Brittany. Brittany had a rather inauspicious start to her collegiate career. She had an average freshman campaign. She started some games, she scored some goals, she watched from the sidelines. But there was an explosion of growth between her freshman and sophomore years. Brittany started to make her mark almost immediately in the 2010 season. She led the team in goals, assists, points, and draw controls, and earned an All-Commonwealth Coast Conference second team honor. Brittany was starting to make a name for herself. Brittany's junior year in 2011 was the first time the lacrosse team had a winning record in the highly competitive Commonwealth Coast Conference in over 5 seasons. It was not a coincidence that the team reached this milestone at the same time Brittany's play really started to click. That 2011 squad started off league play with a dramatic overtime win against Nichols College. Not surprisingly, Brittany scored that game winner in overtime. More surprisingly, she's the one reason we had to go into overtime. We had a solid 2-goal lead in the waning minutes of play, and we're playing 1-up as a Nichols player was red carded out of the game. We also had Brittany. With her quick hands, her stellar dodging ability, she could easily run the time off the clock for us. And, as luck would have it, Brittany won the ball off the draw. We had this game in the bag. With Brittany's possession skill, we could easily run the time off the clock. High fives all around. Game well played, team. But, my fellow Chargers fans, that is not what happened. Inexplicably, Brittany lobbed a 75-yard meatball of a pass down the field into our attacking zone. A pass that was easily picked off, which it was. And the ensuing counterattack produced a goal for the opponent. No one moved. No one defended. We all watched dumbstruck. Britt's reaction from the field? Nichols won the next draw, tied the game up with seconds left on the clock. But in a stunning display of mental toughness, the team rallied together, and Brittany made up for her indiscretions less than 3 minutes into overtime by scoring the winning goal. This set the tone for the rest of the season and started Britt's run to the top of the record books. In 2011, Brittany scored 72 goals and added 28 assists for her first 100-point season. She was ranked second in the CCC for goals per game, fifth in assists per game, and third in both points per game and shots per game. Brittany was also ranked nationally for points per game and goals per game. Brittany was named to the Commonwealth Coast Conference first team and the ECAC Division III Women's Lacrosse New England All-Star team, but she wasn't finished yet. Britt again led her team in her senior campaign. She bested her own single-season points record and finished the season with 104 points, while setting a new single-season assist record with 36. Brittany was a two-time North Atlantic Conference Player of the Week, a first-team All-NAC selection, and was ranked second in the conference for points, assists, goals, and shots per game. As you can tell, Brittany's athletic ability on the field was not a secret. She possessed an uncanny knack to create space for herself and finish every play. On the field, she was a coach's dream, a go-to player who would do anything to get the shot and the goal. But more importantly, Brittany possesses a rare ability to never take herself too seriously. Lacrosse is a game and should always be fun. Lacrosse was Brittany's outlet. She was going to have the best time with it, and we were all along for the ride, whether we wanted to be or not. This was Brittany's world, and we were all lucky to be living in it. In her time at Colby-Sawyer, Brittany developed into a strong, confident, and fearless leader. She led by example on the field, she organized all offensive play, and she kept her teammates a cohesive unit through her sense of humor, her unique leadership style, and her ability to always keep things in perspective. It was an honor and a privilege to coach Brittany, and it is with great pride that I introduce to you the newest member of the Colby-Sawyer College Athletic Hall of Fame, Brittany Murphy.
All right, thank you, Emily. First off, I want to say that being inducted into the Colby-Sawyer College Hall of Fame is a huge honor and achievement I'm very proud of. I would like to thank Colby-Sawyer for allowing me to be a part of this prestigious group. As I reflect back on my 4 years at Colby-Sawyer, some of my happiest times were on the lacrosse field with my teammates. I would not have been able to accomplish what I did without the support of all my teammates throughout the 4 years of playing. I also had many coaches to thank for their support and encouragement during each season. I'm truly grateful to have such a great coaching staff. They have inspired me to continue my love of the game by becoming a coach, which I have done for the past 5 years at the high school level. Although I'd rather still be playing competitively, I'm happy to still be involved, but on the other side as a coach. It brings me great joy to see these young girls grow and accomplish many feats, as I did, as they learn to love the game of lacrosse as I do. I also want to thank my parents and family members. I always had someone at one of my games, whether my parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, or cousins. I always knew I had someone on the sideline cheering me on, which helped me achieve the goals I did. I especially want to thank my mother for always being my #1 fan. She beat breast cancer 15 years ago and has been in remission ever since, and she's currently sitting on a beach in Key West celebrating this feat. Seeing her be so strong through this tough time made me who I am today, not only as an athlete, but also as a person. Again, I would like to thank Emily for the very kind words she shared with you today, and I will be forever grateful for everything she has done for me and for her support. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing the Colby-Sawyer Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2018. Thank you. We're very proud of you five. We're very grateful that you'll continue to represent Colby-Sawyer. And as a reminder, all of you will be permanently memorialized on our Hall of Fame wall in the lobby of the Hogan Sports Center. And there'll be a photo opportunity over at Hogan in front of Victor, our Charger statue. Now, with closing remarks, please join me in welcoming in her third Colby-Sawyer Athletic Hall of Fame address, Sue Stubner, President of Colby-Sawyer.
Good afternoon. This is always a really fun way to finish homecoming weekend. I think not only is it about recognizing the excellence of our inductees, but as our presenters have also shared, it's about relationships and that endure not only during the 4 years that you're here at Colby-Sawyer, but in looking around the room and hearing the stories and seeing the next generation, it's really about for years to come. I want to thank Bill and George for your leadership of our athletic department that continues on a great tradition of excellence. About 30% of our student athletes here are students at Colby-Sawyer are student athletes, and so coaches, athletic trainers, sports information, thank you for all the hard work you do to make that possible. And again, just thank you so much for coming back for such a special weekend. To our inductees, thank you for all you did in your Charger uniforms, but also what you continue to do as alums in setting a high bar for our current students to follow. So thank you so very much.
Thank you all for coming. Remember, we have our Hall of Fame wall in the Hogan Center. We encourage you on your way out to take a look at that. And remember, our Hall of Famers, we'll see you over at the statue for a photo opportunity. Thank you all for coming.